22, I got involved with the Russian mafia. Here's how it happened.
It's like they've been breastfeeding for a year.
Bart, what's your name? Bert?
Oh, my mom's gonna be so upset.
There's not a Mormon I've ever met that I haven't loved.
Jesus Christ.
Well, I got my house is like a disaster.
Do you have a hard out? What time do you have to be out of here?
No.
Okay, cool. We're not going to be much longer than an hour and a half, or an hour, but I just want to make sure.
Yeah. I'm redoing my garage right now.
You're redoing your garage?
Yeah, to make it like a rental unit.
Really?
I thought it was a good financial move, but it's
oh my God, I would never do that in a million fucking years. I would never. Are you rolling?
Roll, this is good stuff.
Wait, are you really thinking about doing that?
I'm doing it. Wait, why would you never do it?
Never in a million fucking years.
Fuck. Now, give me why you think that's a bad idea.
This is what's going to happen. Someone's going to roll up and be like, yeah, I'm looking for a rental apartment. They'll be like, oh, cool. You meet them, you like them, right? They're there. One day their friend comes over and they're like, shut up. You love Kyle Dunnigan? Dude, he's like the master of Instagram.
Oh, no, I'm not worried about that. I thought you said someone was going to rob me or something.
No, it's the fucking fact that people would leverage you nonstop. That would be what would drive me nuts.
I would love that. People right next to me, you're saying, who admire me? I would love that. Here's my problem, and I was telling your producer, what's your name, sir? I didn't get it.
It doesn't matter. Don't speak to him in the eyes.
It doesn't matter.
Halston.
Halston?
I know, right? Damn. So white privilegey.
That's a good name.
But he grew up poor.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I was talking to Halston, and I mean, you get a bid on the house, on a thing, but I just had to move a water line, in the front of your house, and got to move it 5 feet over. So the DWP, you can cut all this out, Halston.
No.
This has got to be not interesting to anyone. That's a water line guy who's like super interested. So they give me an estimate of $6,200 to move it 5 feet over. I just have to dig it and then put a new pipe. So I said, can I have my guys do it? They'll do it for $800, and there's just a monopoly. $6,200.
You definitely can't have your guys deal with the DWP.
Could have my guys do it.
Do you guys want my guys do it? Oh, you have digging guys?
Yeah. I mean, I get that they want to make sure it's good.
Yeah.
But they can have a guy come out and be supervise it and okay what they're doing.
Yeah, probably. Wait, where did you
I think you're on the side of the DWP right now.
No, I'm definitely on the side of the DWP. As if I'm your neighbor, I want to make sure I have water too.
You're fine. $6,200. That's
a lot of fucking
living
money
in Russia.
Why do they want to move it 5 feet?
Have to build a garage. I mean, a driveway.
Okay.
If you have a rental unit, you need 2 spaces.
Really?
There's all these hillside ordinances.
Where do you live in LA? Like, give me a rough
I live
estimate.
close. I live
Really?
across from Universal Studios in the hills, right across.
Okay. That's a great rental unit right there.
I thought so, but looking at prices, it's not a big place. Like 330 square feet. I can get like $1,500 a month, I think.
That's awesome. We just looked at a house over just south of Moore Park. Great neighborhood. The woman is an anesthetician. Is that when you cleans people's faces?
Oh, I thought that was when you give people drugs to pass out for surgery.
Oh, no,
is that not an anesthetician?
She's an esthetician. Anesthesiologist.
That's what I thought.
She's a,
what's an anesthetician? Is that nothing?
Is that a thing?
I don't know.
Hey Siri, what's an anesthetician?
Nothing.
Okay, I found this on the web for what's an esthetician. Check it out.
Oh, distinguishing between an esthetician and an anesthetician can be a little tricky.
Well, I'll say.
But yeah,
Do you know? It's not to interrupt, but
go.
You're gonna get emails now about an anesthetician stuff.
Is that how that works?
I tested this because I was out. I talked to somebody. We were talking about like shakes, and then I was getting emails about nutrition shakes. Then I was talking about TM, transcendental meditation, and the next day I got 3 emails about transcendental meditation.
I love when they do that. I wish they didn't do that with news. Like, because I love when they do that with products.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, I love when it's like, sometimes I'm so stupid. You used to have a joke about all the punch was they're calling from inside my home.
Oh, yeah.
I'm that stupid. Where like I go, like, how did they know I wanted fucking Nike SBs? Shut up! I've been looking at these.
Doesn't that freak you out a little bit though?
I love it. I love it. With treadmills? I've been looking at treadmills. It's like idiot. But then they do it with news. Man, if you looked at my news, like if that's the next shaming.
Oh yeah,
is going to be they're going to pull up like if they could pull up all show this is what Bert Kreischer's feed looks like.
Oh yeah, well that's the thing. They're gonna have all this information. What freaks me out is I go on YouTube. It says recommended videos for you, and it's all like fat people falling down in airplane crashes.
Oh, mine are.
Oh, that's the kind of person I am.
Mine are boat launch videos, fist fights.
Boat? What's a boat
I
launch video?
have no fucking idea.
Just getting a boat into the water.
It's about boats. I'm really into boats. I guess.
Do you have a boat?
Nope.
Can you get a boat?
No. Not even close. This is what it's always Rogan. It's always Rogan is like my number one thing. It's about something alt-right, which is embarrassing.
Oh,
Like so, it's like some like alt-right propaganda video. Right, this one is Jordan Peterson debates Russell Brand's politics.
that comes up on your YouTube.
Yeah, and I guess you know how they say that like the algorithm on Facebook is to make you angry.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, the algorithm of Facebook and Twitter is to show stuff in your feed that gets you outraged because you'll tweet about outrageous shit.
Interesting.
And I think YouTube is to show you stuff that makes you happy.
Huh.
Yeah, either that or it's a mix-up. But like, obviously, I'm not all right. But it's always something like Proud Boy knocks out Antifa supporter.
Is it working on you? Do you feel like you get hooked in?
I stopped watching them. This one's Chael Sonnen. It's anything about not pasteurizing. What's the thing when you put bubbles in something? Fermentation. I get a lot of fermentation videos.
Could you talk about that a lot?
I Google a lot of fermenting videos. So I'm fermenting.
Fermenting on a boat would be like your dream video.
By the way, fermenting on a boat, you have no idea. If I was on a boat, I've dreamed about living on a boat. I would love to live on a boat.
Yeah,
It's the number one thing. I used to play tennis with this older guy, and he said to me, "Make sure you and your wife have similar retirement goals, because if you don't, you're getting divorced."
Really?
I was like, "What's your wife's retirement goal?" He goes, "Spend time with the grandkids." I said, "What's your retirement goal?" And he goes, "Get my dick sucked by young chicks on a boat." And I was like, "I guess those don't match up." And he was like, "No." So we got a divorce.
Is she into getting a boat for retirement?
My wife has no fucking interest in getting a boat.
Oh.
My wife is so goddamn depressing sometimes. She said to me the other day,
so?
we don't want to get we're looking at houses. We don't want to get a 2-story house because, I mean, how much longer are we going to be able to work those stairs? We're getting older. Can you imagine dating a woman that said stuff like that on a date?
I mean, in a way, not to defend her and go against you, but I like that she's being practical and thinking ahead. But you can get the chair that takes you up the stairs. And the tub with the door. Did you talk about
That's
that?
what I said. The tub with the door. I tried to explain that door. I go, why don't we just get the fucking, and you know what you know how like when you have it in your brain but the words aren't there? The stand-up shower where you can shut the door, fill it up with water. It's the fucking tub with the door.
Yeah.
I've seen that tub with the door. I wouldn't mind one of those.
I think it's a solid idea. Most people die in the bathtub, and I live alone, and I feel like I wouldn't be found for a week.
For real, you live alone?
Yeah.
Wait, where did you grow up?
Connecticut.
Okay, that makes sense.
Where did we meet?
New York. Do you remember the first time we met?
I don't remember meeting you.
I do. Me, you, John Bush, and Zach Galifianakis went to dinner with a woman named Betsy Reeves.
No memory of that.
Yep. John had just gotten a development deal.
Yes. I just talked to John Bush today.
I see John
and he said
quite
to
often.
say hello to you.
I see him fairly often when I'm on the road because he's in Minnesota still.
Iowa
now? Yeah. I'd see him in Iowa. John, you and John Bush, I was like, in my head, I was like, okay, so that's the lane. Get in that lane. Be super talented. Be very personable. You guys were both very funny at dinner. And I remember thinking, Zach will probably never make it. I really was like, he's too unique. And Zach was such an interesting guy to me that I liked, but I didn't think anyone would ever get it.
Yeah.
Like I remember I went, you guys were probably there, but Zach invited me to his hotel it was a Gramercy Park Inn.
Yeah.
And everyone was in there watching something, and I got high with him, and he took me through a very elaborate tour of his hotel room.
Yeah.
Like the only way that a young Zach could have done.
How's
You know,
that? What is the just
older Zach is very
explain.
practical. Zach.
Okay.
Because, he's just. I'm not. By the way, I barely know Zach at all anymore.
Yeah.
I ran into him at Brody's funeral, but at Brody's funeral, he was so. I guess he doesn't drink much anymore at all. And he was just like, "Hey, Bert, it's Zach," and I went, "Yeah, Zach, I know who the fuck you are." Like, you're one of the biggest movie stars of our. Yeah. And he was like, "Hey, it's good seeing you, man." So bad it had to be other circumstances. Young Zach was like, "Hey, man, can I show you what I love about this hotel?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he took me on a very detailed tour of that room. It was like a 2-bedroom room.
Yeah.
And number one thing he showed me was there was a bottle opener in the bathroom.
And you were thinking to yourself, this is too much detail.
I thought I was like, I would so much rather be on a guided tour of this hotel room because I was high also than to be with everyone else.
I can't believe I can't remember this dinner at all.
Yep. John Bush paid.
Wait a minute.
John Bush paid because he had just gotten a development deal. I don't know if you guys were celebrating.
Yes. Do you know the development deal they offered $50,000 and his agent was so new. She was like, "I'll take it." There was no negotiating. Didn't confer with him.
Really?
Yeah, they would have given him 100. They offer you 50, then they go like, "Well,
you go back and forth, get to 120 maybe."
Yeah, she got too excited. I saw Zach at the funeral too, and we had this awkward 3-person hug with this girl that cheated on me with him, and the 3 of us were just in this awkward hug. And I think she said like, "Well, this is awkward," or something like that.
But how did you I always wondered this. Now, when I got into the business and saw the business, I was like, wow, Kyle's always a little bit of an outlier because you aren't a mainstream comic.
I feel like when I know why this happened, but I started trying to do the right thing. For whatever reason, I was a person who was just scared and like, what do I need to do? As opposed to what am I good at? And not to bring Zach up again, but I remember talking to him and he didn't even want to do a sitcom. And I thought he was lying to me and just trying to protect himself. But he just knew what he did well and he did that. And that's powerful. And I was just trying, they were telling me get rid of the guitar and don't do impressions. So I'm more of like a Dana Carvey kind of performer. And imagine Dana Carvey trying to do that. It's just the wrong thing for me. I think that I got stuck there for a while. I just recently started doing more things that I do better than, I remember, but back then it was like, get a deal, talk about your family. And that's just not
set up a premise to a sitcom.
Yeah.
My dad's the kind of guy, it's like, it's so funny now because I think a lot of us, especially myself, I would never have talked about my dad back then because I was very much like, don't try. I remember watching guys set up their lives for a sitcom and I'd be like, oh, I'm definitely not that guy. I didn't have any humor about my parents.
Yeah.
I didn't find anything comical about them. I was like,
yeah, I didn't either, but I kept trying. Like, this is how you have to do it.
Yeah.
Felt like what everyone was telling me.
Where did you start doing stand-up in New York?
The comic strip.
Lucian hated me.
He did?
I sat down with him I want to say in a fucking
tiny room.
Tiny room. Like I thought it was a closet.
Yeah, it's the size of a closet, so it's uncomfortable.
And he told me I didn't have it and that I should call it quits.
Yeah, he made a lot of people cry. I saw more than one person come out of there crying. One girl, you ever hear this story? Heavy set, went in there, and he'll talk to you for 3 hours and then tell you didn't pass.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cruel. But this girl was in there for hours and she came out crying. And what he said to her was, well, you could lose weight or you could gain another 25 pounds and make a real spectacle of yourself. He was very to the point.
Someone told my wife that. And one night, my wife would be better telling this story because I'll fuck it up. Someone told my wife, okay, you either got to lose a lot of weight or gains a lot of weight. But like you're right in the middle. Like you're like the cute friend, but you'll work more if you're fatter. And she went to a party that night and she was in the kitchen next to this woman stuffing her fucking face. And my wife said, can you believe someone would say that? And the woman was like, oh, I got the same advice. I'm just gaining weight. That woman was Melissa McCarthy.
Really?
I swear to God. My wife was at a party with Melissa McCarthy and she's just like, fuck it.
Yeah, that sounds like the best. I mean, even though you want to hear that.
If you want to work, if that's your dream and your dream isn't like Like I remember losing weight and like my first sitcom I did, I then got healthy and lost weight, and I was like, and someone's like, oh, so I guess you're changing your look, huh? Like, I guess we got to send you out in different. And I was like, wait, I'm still the same. I'm still like, wait, I'm not attractive. Like, what the fuck? But yeah, Lucian told me I didn't have it, and I should just go back to Florida.
Yeah, well, he told a lot of great comics. I think he told Kevin Hart that he'll never make it. And I don't know if how do you not see Kevin Hart's talent? It was pretty obvious right away.
Dude, right away when Kevin Hart started, you were like, okay.
He was gone so fast.
He really was. For like I feel like he was in New York for a month and a half. And then all of a sudden he was in LA doing Judd Apatow movies.
The guy who, just so you know, that's the same guy
that discovered you.
No, yeah, and it said Kevin Hart. So yeah, you can pick him.
But did Lucian like you?
Yeah, he actually. Without him, I wouldn't be doing anything.
For real?
I was done in whatever show business, and I had gone there. I auditioned. I got passed up to him, and then I went back to audition for him, and he wasn't there. And so I went home, and I was in my apartment for months just trying to be an actor, which never would have happened. Yeah. And luckily, the woman who gave John the deal, she ended up being an agent. This is all tying back together. She was the receptionist there, called and said, he's in today. He never looked at your tape. You might as well come in today if you can. So if she hadn't called me, I would be doing something else.
And Lucian looked like, so that people could put this in perspective, this is my recollection.
Yeah.
And by the way, my recollections are always
accurate.
I remember telling Pete Coriela's story about Manny from the Cellar.
Yeah.
Manny passed me. My first time I did stand up down there, Manny passed me. And he came up to me and he's like, listen, buddy, and Pete goes, I'm going to stop you right there. Manny never had an accent. And I was like, oh, it's funny. I remember him with an accent. Anyway.
He mixed in with SD.
Lucian, in my recollection, looked like the guy from what was the movie Val Kilmer was in where he was a genius? Real Genius?
Oh, yes. I don't remember that movie well.
Okay. Do you remember Laszlo who lived downstairs and lived in the closet?
No.
Can you just pull up what? Real Genius. I remember Lucian looking like Laszlo as the guy who lived, but with a ponytail, not his hair down.
Yeah. He's kind of like a 00. He seems European.
He was taller.
Tall, thin.
Skinny.
Yeah.
Long hair, but kind of thinning.
Yes. Well, he got very sick. I don't know if you know that towards the end.
I did, but I didn't like...
Scleroderma, it's called.
What's that?
It's a sister form of lupus, and it's maybe one of the worst things to get. Your body just starts to harden, so he would just start losing fingers, and it was awful. Yeah. You just harden and stiffen from the inside. Like his face got very tight. It's one of the worst things to get.
Holy, is that just hereditary?
I don't know. Genetic.
I'll be Googling that tonight.
Yeah.
I was like, take half a Xanax.
We're going to get emails about scleroderma now.
How's your health? Have you ever had health concerns?
I always think I'm going to die, but no, I'm fine.
Wait, do you always think you're going to die? Because I literally think I'm going to die.
Yes. But now I'm at an age where I'm feeling like, well, I had a good run. Like before.
I can say that a little bit.
Yeah. It was tragic. Like in your 20s, it's tragic. In your 30s, it's like, he was so young. But then in your 40s, it's like, well, it happened. It does happen.
No one's going to mourn for me at my funeral in the sense that they'll go like, dude, he did it all.
That's true.
I was on Travel Channel for 9 years.
Yeah.
I traveled the world fucking 9 times around.
Yeah.
I accomplished more in my stand-up career than I ever thought I'd accomplish.
You got a family?
I got a family. The only thing that would make people sad is that I wouldn't walk my daughters down the aisle. That's like the only thing.
Oh yeah. Is that so fun though?
No, I think one of them's gay anyway, so it's like,
okay.
Yeah.
Still could get married though.
Yeah, but I don't think they do like the traditional. Do they? I've never been. You've been to a gay wedding.
I've only been to gay weddings. What's a straight wedding like?
Oh,
are they fun?
No, I think a lot of people go, half of these don't work. Mine was a fucking blast.
Oh, that's cool.
Mine was in a church that my wife's grandfather owned across the street.
Owned a church.
Oh,
I don't know why I felt like churches aren't owned. I thought they were just
in the South, in small towns, someone's got to buy that, build a church.
Do they make money off it? Or
No. You just build the church, and then her grandfather went to school in that church, And then they were going to at one point tear it down, and he bought it and renovated it so that they could have a church to go worship at.
Yeah.
It was an old Baptist church. It was a really amazing. I was one of the funner nights of my life.
How old are your kids?
I don't know.
Yeah.
13 and 15.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're in it.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
adults.
Oh, yeah. My daughter had three 15-year-old girls in the pool last night.
Yeah.
And they were just like bullshitting and talking about boys. And
that's so
I was walking
funny.
back and forth. And they're like, where are you going? And I was like, I'm going to the store. George was like, hey, can we go with you and like just hang out in Sunset Boulevard? And I was like, no, not at a fucking all. You're not going to Sunset Boulevard at midnight.
That was nice. They wanted to hang out with you, though.
They just wanted to go into this. They were like, we've never been into Hollywood. Like, they've never been into Hollywood by themselves. And they're like,
well, that sounds like a good thing to take them the first time with an adult.
I thought about it for a second.
Yeah.
And then I thought, sometimes at the store, things go off the rails. Like, you'll be there, and then all of a sudden, like,
oh, take them to the store.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a little different. That's your work area.
Yeah. Well, they weren't going to get into the store, but sometimes when you're at the store, like, Ron White will be like, hey, I'm throwing a party at my house now. Everyone, let's go. And you always want to be like, I want to be able to do that.
Right.
I don't want to be like, oh, I got 3 fucking kids on Sunset Strip trying to buy drugs.
Put them in an Uber.
Oh, I wish.
I sometimes at night, Bert, I'll get high. Okay?
Do you smoke pot?
At night I eat the edibles. It helps me sleep.
Really? Do you
Yes.
ever panic?
No, I used to. I think I got a real tolerance. But when I'm high, I almost always think I should get a family. That's like my high thought.
Do you think you'll ever have a family?
You know what? I know it's running late in my life, but
It's not late. What are you? You're 46?
48.
You're 48?
Yeah.
Oh, you
Just
look so
turned
fucking young, though.
47-ish.
Bert didn't have kids until he was 50.
Who?
Bill Burr.
Oh. He has a
Rogan didn't
kid?
have kids until he was like 47.
Yeah.
I could be very inaccurate on both of those statements, by the way.
Yeah, but I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I just feel like we don't live long enough. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I need another 10 years to really think about this.
About kids?
Yeah, and I don't have that time.
I think you'd be such a fun dad.
I do like my nieces and nephews a lot.
Yeah.
My niece's nephew. But maybe I gotta find the right person though, because I'm not gonna adopt a child.
Have you ever been in love with someone enough where you're like, I would want to make a kid with this person?
I got out of a relationship maybe a year ago, almost exactly, and she moved in. 4 days later, we broke up. But I thought we were gonna have like a family.
How did that happen so quickly? Were you just not compatible to live together?
Well, I'll tell you this: she was great, and everything was good. But there was like a little bit of a she didn't trust me, and I'm very trustworthy.
I can't imagine
very
you,
boring.
I can't imagine you not being trustworthy. Like you're not to. I know Dalia is a very faithful guy.
Yeah.
But if you look at Dalia, I can be a girl going, I'm not comfortable
right.
with him going out at night.
But me, I mean, there's after shows, it's not a pee fest coming after me. Do you know what I mean? It's pretty,
I bet there is, but you're not the guy.
I
you're
go
not the guy
home,
leveraging
like,
that.
Okay, I'd like to think that.
I think I think I guarantee you there are a plethora of women that would love to sleep with you, but you've never, in my opinion, come off as a guy that's like when the Me Too thing happened. I can't imagine that you were like, I hope I don't get popped on this one.
Yeah. I look at the audience, they seem very young to me now. It used to be I was a little more, but people coming to the club are like in their mid-20s.
My audience
early 20s.
is my age. I feel like
I got a lot of bros coming to my shows too.
Fuck yes, Rogan.
Yeah, because of Rogan.
Yeah,
It's
Rogan
true.
is you know that really is. I mean, not to take credit away from Rogan. You know what that really is though, right?
No.
Segura.
Oh, is that right?
Segura's been in love with you for a very long time.
Really?
Oh yeah, Segura turned us on to you. I mean,
He saved my I was literally dead in the water.
I'm not
Instagram.
saying that Joe didn't discover you on his own. I will say that Tom Segura texted me, Joe, and Ari videos of you for a solid fucking week every day.
Oh no.
And Joe and Tom were the first ones to be back and forth. Like, this is fucking genius. I've known you for in my entire career. Literally before I was doing stand up was when I met you. So I've been aware of you even when you didn't know me, and I've been following your career regardless. Mostly because at certain points of my career, you live with Chris Fairbanks. I worked with Chris Fairbanks. You live with Tig. I loved Tig. Tig and I had a connection because we did Premium Blend together.
Oh,
and so I've known of your career the entire time. I've always followed you on Instagram. So when I saw the videos, I was like, oh, I've already watched these. Joe and Tom were finding them at the same time.
Yeah.
And Tom and Joe were like, oh my God, this is the funniest human being ever. And I'm telling you, if you're ever going to give someone a hug, give it to Segura.
I mean,
he fucking loves you.
Thanked him, but I need to double down because he really did. I mean, no one was seeing my videos until.
Dude, the fucking videos, your impression videos are good. They're not as good as fucking Kyle. Is it Kyle? Not Kyle. Craig.
Oh, Craig. Yeah.
Those videos.
It's funny. People have different.
Those videos make me laugh so fucking hard. Chicken butt.
Oh yeah.
I've laughed so fucking hard, and that character's been around for.
I've been doing it since I've been like I don't remember not doing that.
That character has been around forever, and I've loved that character. But when that character showed up on Instagram, I was dying. I would go onto your videos and I would just scroll. I mean, a year back, 2 years back.
Yeah.
They're the funniest goddamn videos.
Thank you.
Is that your real mom in those videos?
Yes, it is.
And
she's good.
Do you do them when you go back to Connecticut?
Yeah, I don't go back much, so I try to make sure I get one.
They're so.
I know she's good.
I would argue she's the funniest part of the video.
She's better than me. Yeah, in the videos.
She is so fucking good at her. I don't know if they're natural reactions.
They are. Well, I kind of sabotage. I don't give her lines because when you give her lines, it starts to sound like more. But she naturally would yell at me like that. So it's very.
Was it the chicken butt where you kept going, Mom? Guess what? Guess what?
Yeah.
Chicken butt. Mom. Guess what?
Yeah. That first shot when she's in the kitchen, she didn't even know I was filming. I don't know if you remember that, but yeah, she's very natural and.
Those are the funniest fucking videos.
Thank you.
Those are I like, but that's my sense of humor is like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like some people say, do more of these, and then.
Well, the Kardashians are.
Yeah.
Kardashians are gold. What are the impressions you do? You do Trump, which is. I never even knew you were that good of an impressionist, to be honest with you.
I didn't do impression. I did them when I was younger, and I got sort of. I was really. I wanted to be cool when I was like 12, and I thought of as kind of like a clown. And I did impressions of teachers and stuff like that, and like Michael Jackson and stuff like that. And then I just stopped doing it because I felt like that was kids you try to be cool. And then the whole thing with doing stand up, do the whole. Talk about your family. And it was just when I saw the face swap, I was like, oh, I could do these. That reignited that I can do impressions. Only a couple of years ago, I started doing them again.
It's so good. I mean, you do Trump, you do all the Kardashians, you do
Ray Liotta.
Ray Liotta is a fucking good one.
Jeff Goldblum. And
I mean, they're so
Elon
accurate.
Musk.
When you do an impression, is it just like it comes to you and then you go, oh, I can do that one? You don't have to think about it, or do you work on it?
Sometimes I could just hear someone talk and think, oh, I could probably do that if they just have the same tone. Like Bill Maher, we have a similar. Bill
Maher is good.
Thank you. People speak in like a 4-note range, basically. And if you could hit that range, and then they place it. Some people are like in their nose, and some are back.
Wait, explain to me. So, like, some people talking a 4-note range. What do you mean? Because
like
I guarantee you, there's
like,
people going. I would love. Like when I first got into comedy, I was like, if I can get one good impression, then I can always make sure I'll kill. Because I remember, like DC Benny had an impression. It wasn't even an impression. He's like, "This is my impression of an Italian eye doctor. What are you looking at?" And I was like, "I want to be." I couldn't even do. I couldn't even do that. Or like, this is my impression of Robert De Niro. Anyone that had one of those, they always murdered. And I could never do.
See, I find it really hard to get them into my stand-up. It feels so forced. I've done it, and in the middle of a story, I'll kind of throw in something, but I always find it. There's not many ways to get into it. There's the, here's my impression of.
Here's my impression of. The only impression I ever had was of a vibrator.
What's that?
Just. That's basically good. Going inside her. That's my only fucking joke ever.
I've never had a woman need to use a vibrator, so I don't know.
I've never had a woman use a vibrator either. I'm doing that impression. That one, and my dick after an orgasm, and it was just me bobbing and then having
dick sound.
But those are my two impressions. But so when you say 4-note range, like how, like what do you mean, like?
Well, I like music a lot, and I have you got to be able to hear how some people don't have an ear for it. So if you cannot,
So it's more about the ear of hearing the impression.
yeah, people who can do impressions well are usually good musically because they can hear
Interesting.
the notes of the person that they're, yeah.
I've done impressions of people only because there's a guy, I wish I remembered the exact airport. There was a guy that was so fascinating. The way he spoke and the way his intonations of what he found important that I wanted to tape record him so I could always listen to him. And I found myself doing an impression of him to him, like going like,
yeah. I do that if I'm talking to someone, not even realizing that I'm mimicking them. It's offensive to do that.
Could you do an impression of Rogan?
You know what? I've tried. No,
Really?
I cannot. He has a very high, hard tone that's really hard to get. I mean, I haven't tried to really work on it, and sometimes I can get there. Like Jeff Goldblum, I had to kind of work on a little bit, but he's I don't know if I could ever get my voice to do that.
What was the easiest one to come up with?
Bill Maher is like really close to my voice.
Bill Maher.
People, it's just like right in my range. Okay. And
that's really fucking great.
And like Caitlyn actually is like pretty close.
I don't even know what she sounds like.
She's just like, yeah. She talks and answers herself. Yeah.
She looks so much prettier now than she did as a dude.
Yeah, she's way hotter.
She actually is. She actually has aged a lot less, and I don't know if that she's just gotten a ton lot more plastic surgery.
But there's just the makeup you get to wear.
Oh yeah,
I bet if you got close, you'd see she's about 70, isn't she?
Really? Her girlfriend's fucking smoking.
Haven't seen her.
That's
girlfriend, is she also trans, the girlfriend?
Oh, I fucking hope not, because I'm definitely attracted to her.
Yeah.
God. You're pretty woke though. Like you're like, do you think your wokeness came naturally? Like, do you think you were always a woke person?
I mean, maybe I've been around a lot of homosexuals in my life. I mean, Tig and
was it when you lived with Tig? Was she? Because Tig is, I've always found Tig to be someone who is. I never found her to be someone super aggressive and in your face about politics or anything. But she is someone that would, if you said something off on stage, she'd kind of be like, "Ugh." Is that an accurate statement? And I know Tig,
well, no, I just know that a lot of times people think she's mad at them when she's not.
She's not at all.
Yeah,
just very quiet.
Yeah, when I introduced her to someone new, I would tell them, you might think she doesn't like you, but you just have to wait a minute.
Did you grow a lot living with Tig?
I mean, we only lived with each other for I think 4 months.
Oh, I thought you and her. I thought you guys all lived together for like.
No, it was the first season of Inside Amy Schumer.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you only lived with her in New York?
Yeah.
Oh, shut the fuck up! It
was like
I
4
thought
months.
you, her, and Fairbanks all lived in like Venice.
No,
together.
but I did spend a lot of time over there. But we didn't.
Were you and her
live
writing
together.
partners at the time?
We were never writing partners, but we would hang out and write. We wrote a couple of little things, but we never sold anything or were.
So you guys all worked on Inside Amy?
Yeah, and Amy, and Tig lived together. Me and Tig lived in a bunk bed in a room. It's weird, and we were adults. And she had just had her mastectomy, and she had scars and bandages still. And she was blowing up right at that moment. So she was getting huge checks in the mail.
Really?
For like $300,000, whatever. And she's living in this tiny room. It's just funny. It's just weird.
That's crazy. Tig doesn't drink, does she?
No.
Does Amy drink? Amy drink. I know Amy drink. I don't know why I asked that out loud.
Yeah.
And do you drink?
Nah, not a lot. No.
I'm trying to force envision this party scene of you guys just getting fucking loose.
Amy was gone all the time.
Yeah.
The weekend she would leave and do shows and stuff.
And you and Tig were just.
Yeah, we would hang out, and I feel so long ago.
Does it really?
Yeah, I feel like I can look back on my life now. It's like I really lived it. There's a lot of years that have stacked up.
When did you start writing? Meaning like when was the first time someone was like, "Man, you'd be great writing on this show"? Because I got to be really honest. I always felt anytime you wrote was a disservice to all your talents because I think you're an amazing writer, obviously. But when you got found on Instagram by everyone, I was like, that's always been who I've seen him as.
Yeah, I did definitely feel frustrated in a writer's room just because I want to perform. It's way more fun. And I was actually writing on Sarah Silverman's show, and I would call it a midlife crisis because I suddenly was like, I got to get out of here. I just saw my life in this writing track. And that's not why even though it's a great job, I was thankful for it, but I wanted to, and I had to leave. I just left that job. And that's when I started doing Instagram stuff.
You were writing for Sarah's first show, the Sarah Silverman show?
No, the Hulu show. I wrote the first season.
Oh, really?
And, I went from Amy's, and then I went to that, and I just saw my track, and I just was like, no, I want to perform. It's so much more fun.
All positive, no negative in this. But what are the, creatively, working with two of the biggest women in entertainment, or inarguably in comedy.
Yeah.
What is the differences you see creatively in the way Sarah creates versus Amy? All positive, not talking shit. Just everyone has a preface.
No talking shit. All positive. Let me see the differences. Ooh, this is a tough question. I'm not hiding anything. I'm literally trying to search my brain for a correct answer.
Who is, in your opinion, who is more hands-on?
Amy was more hands-on.
Yeah.
But it might be because Sarah's room was like upstairs and down the hall, and we had like a writer's room, whereas the Amy Schumer's writer's room was we were all just together in a room.
And it was Amy's first project,
and it was
really.
her first thing. Yeah.
Sarah's
and it was a different type of show. You know,
if you had to get one of them pregnant on accident,
okay,
I'm definitely going Sarah. I would love Sarah Silverman in my life.
Yeah, because Amy's already has a child.
Oh yeah, I told.
But
by the way,
Sarah does
I
not
totally
want a
forgot
child.
about that.
It would be an unwanted baby. You all right with that?
Yeah, I'm very cool with that. I'll give it to my wife.
Okay, she's
like,
cool
hey,
with
just
that?
so you know, Sarah's going to come by on weekends.
Yeah,
and see her kid. And when
bits.
she does, can you slide her these jokes I'm working on? See if she can punch them up real quick.
Yeah. I do not feel like I served her show well.
Really?
Yeah, because I feel like I write sketch stuff, and that was a little political, and my brain doesn't.
How does your brain how does your brain most naturally write comedy? Is it like, especially stand up? Like, do you?
Stand up is tough. I don't know why I have a much easier time thinking in terms of scenes and sketch, but I'll feel like, ooh, there's something funny here with this, and then I'll go to bed and ask my subconscious, not out loud like a weirdo, but I'll let my subconscious take care of it, and I'll usually wake up with like a more solid idea. Yeah, and also with impressions, I'll work on something and sort of wake up, and I'll be able to do it when I wake up better.
I just told Dr. Drew the reason I won't take OCD medicine is that whatever my OCD is, and I have it probably in a bunch of different ways, one of the way it manifests itself is in obsessing about a bit.
Is that right?
Yeah, where I'll like there's this, I have this bit, I write most naturally in story. Like most naturally it is everything's a story.
Yeah.
That's the way my brain sees everything. I think I would have made a phenomenal sitcom writer.
Yeah.
And I think I would have made a good sitcom star if that was still around. I think it's a little, I think the ship sailed for 4-camera. Multicam, I can't see.
No?
I mean, like Gabe just did one. Did you see One Day at a Time?
Like in the 70s?
No, they just redid it.
Oh, they did.
And it was, and by the way, I have friends that were in it, but just to be objective, it was so tough to watch.
It's bad.
It was, and even Gabe's was good, but it was like, it was lacking something. It was like for some reason the multicam just wasn't popping the way Gabe pops.
Yeah.
You know, where you're like,
what Gabe are we talking about?
Gabriel Iglesias.
Oh, I should ask earlier in this conversation. Gabe.
Halfway in, I was like, wait, what game are we talking about?
Gabe really. I didn't see his. I'll tell you, the One Day at a Time in the 70s was terrible as well. If you look at it. I mean, what we were forced to watch these things. And we're like, these are good. There's 4 shows.
That's all. Do you think that multicam was just simply lack of options? That's why we like
Yes. Three's Company is terrible. It was the #1 show, and it's horrible. You could. I really feel like we could sit down and write a Three's Company episode in an hour.
Oh, easily,
and no one would notice the difference.
What an interesting premise. He has to pretend to be gay to live with these 2 girls.
Yeah. Bosom Buddies was like the quintessential crazy premise. They had to dress like women. I mean,
yeah.
I liked that show.
I loved Bosom Buddies.
Yeah.
I always envisioned that would be that I would get into something like that.
It only ran 2 seasons.
Are you serious?
Yeah. But you could see how that would run out. Like the writers were probably like, what now? 40 episodes of them almost getting caught as women is exhausting.
You couldn't do Bosom Buddies now.
Tom Hanks was good, though. He was good.
What was your favorite Tom Hanks movie?
Well, this is a no-brainer. Forrest Gump.
Oh, for real?
Wait a minute. No, I don't want to jump into this. I did like Castaway.
Hold on. Yeah, Castaway is a pretty amazing.
Apollo 13 is good.
Mr. Rogers looks good.
What? He's in Mr. Rogers? It's a new movie?
Oh, yeah. It looks
I
awesome.
haven't seen that. When's that coming out?
He looks just like Mr. Rogers.
Really?
I just saw the trailer in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Did you see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Yes.
Oh,
I just saw
did you
that.
like it?
I'll tell you, I really liked certain scenes,
Yeah.
but as a whole, I didn't really get into this story of it, but I liked it, and I want to see it again.
I didn't get into the story until the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, the last.
By the way, the movie is completely lost on a 13 and 15-year-old who are unaware of the Manson murders.
Right. Must be so confusing.
Like, this is...
Why were they in this?
We're like, so who the fuck is Sharon Tate? Why do we spend any time talking about her? And I was like, wait, do you guys know who the Manson family is? And they're like, no, Marilyn Manson? I go, do you know who Marilyn Manson's named after? And they're like, no.
Really?
Oh, they had no. Isla goes, it's over? And I went, yeah. She goes, that's weird.
That must be so confusing if you don't know.
So confusing if you don't know who the Manson. So wait, best Tom Hanks movie.
Wait a minute.
I'm gonna pull him up. I'm gonna pull him up.
I feel like I'm forgetting one.
You're forgetting. I guarantee you.
Big. I think I like Big the best.
Green Mile.
The
The Terminal. I mean, what a great.
I didn't see that one.
Philadelphia.
I'm going with Big.
Let me
I
keep
love
going.
that movie when I
Apollo
was younger.
13.
God, he's been
Catch
in
Me
a lot
If
of
You
movies.
Can. You've got Mail. Angels and Demons. Sleepless in Seattle. Inferno.
You Got Mail was Sleepless in Seattle Part 2. I thought that was so similar.
He was really good. It was very similar. Bachelor Party does not translate.
I gotta. I know, not to name drop. Road to Perdition. Paul Newman was in that.
Yeah. Do you know Paul Newman?
No, but I dated a girl who was her dad was good friends with him. You know, James Naughton. He's a Broadway actor guy, and they did Glass Menagerie together. Anyway, they lived down the street and they were friends. He lived in Westport, Connecticut, and he thought he was terrible in that. And he showed at this house and was like self-deprecating, and he was talking about how they never pay him money. Like everyone is just miserable.
Tom Hanks was like, they don't pay me enough.
No, Paul Newman was saying this.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, shut
And
up.
and Paul Newman thought he was terrible. So no one's relaxed and thinks.
That's so funny. You think that they would be.
Yeah, you think Paul Newman would be like, I'm Paul Newman. Everything's good. And
Nothing in Common was Jackie Gleason's last movie, right? You know, Jackie Gleason did he's been in a lot of fucking movies.
Yeah.
I think I've seen Volunteers is one of my favorite movies.
Oh yeah, I like Volunteers
with John Candy.
Yeah,
when they're all playing cards and he's gentlemen, place your bets, and they all pull chickens up.
I don't remember that.
Oh, this is the new Mr. Rogers. Tom Hanks is Mr. Rogers. Doesn't he look like him?
Did you see the documentary? Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
You didn't see the Mr. Rogers documentary? It's
No,
really good.
Really?
Yeah.
Was Mr. Rogers gay?
They never really
They say
go
this
into
in
that.
in this one, the trailer. He's like, yeah, I'm doing an expose on Mr. Rogers. And his girlfriend, I guess, is laying in bed with him. And she goes, don't you ruin my childhood to the expose guy. Because he's doing an expose on Mr. Rogers. And I'm guaranteed he's like, get to the bottom of who this creep is.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know what? This very sidebar, but I think I'm not even going to share it. Sometimes my brain goes off in ways where I just go like, hey, I got a random fucking thought.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's why I think stand-ups have the ability to do that, is like be non sequitur constantly.
Yeah.
And I think those are the funnest sets you can have.
Yeah. It drives people nuts. I do that, and I have to apologize a lot.
So you're living by yourself now.
I know, it's weird.
You're living by yourself, and you can eat
With
edibles.
a dog. Yeah.
What kind of dog? Rescue?
It's a pug chihuahua, yeah.
Rescue?
Yeah.
Yeah, you had to.
Yeah.
You can't just buy a dog.
They're so good. Rescues are...
I'm
You hate
buying
'em.
one. I'm buying. No, I don't hate them.
Yeah.
I don't hate them. But when you have kids,
Oh, you want to make sure they're
I
healthy.
want to meet the parents.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to roll the dice on some fucking.
I got lucky. My dog is healthy and good. And so fun, yeah.
Do you take it on the road with you?
Sometimes.
Really?
But last time, I haven't taken her a while because last time she was in a dog bag and I went to the bathroom on the plane and she ate her way out and I came out of the bathroom and she's running up and down the aisle. It was cute. People seem to like it. But.
I was on a plane one time in first class and a
First class?
Doberman Pinscher in first class took a shit in first class.
Oh my
Got
God.
up and started circling, and I'm like, this dog is about to take a shit. And you can see the owner is just like, well, this is happening.
It's a funny time where you can't ask if a dog is, you can't ask why you have a dog. It just can get on a plane.
It really is. I saw a dude in LaGuardia try to claim that he had a emotional, a distress snake.
A distressed snake?
No, like that was his emotional. He needed a snake with him.
That's a real stretch.
But I think, in honesty, I think he was moving across country and he didn't want to put it under the plane.
Yeah.
So he was saying, no, this is my emotional. And it was interesting to watch the guy at the gate handle it. I think he handled it well. He was like, I ain't letting no motherfucking snakes. That's a long way to get to that joke, right? No. I ain't letting no motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane.
I think it's a good length to get there.
Sometimes I'll write a joke and I'll go, this is just for those times.
I don't even know how jokes come. Do you have a set way of doing? Something seems to pop into my head, but I don't.
It's something pops in. Like I'll walk you through.
Yeah,
because I've been writing jokes while on vacation.
You write jokes. I'm gonna steal your process.
Sometimes I'll have a thought, right? So like I was getting a massage in Australia and I felt bad for the woman that she had to touch my body.
Yeah, I did.
And I said, I wonder who she would. This isn't a joke, but this is a line that I think I could add into a joke.
Yeah.
And then I bet she'd be excited if The Rock came in. She'd be like, ooh, this is going to be a fun hour of work.
Yeah.
And then I'll write down more excited than The Rock's masseuse. Like try to write an analogy so that I can, and then I'll go from there.
Yeah.
And I'll try to find like more excited than, and I'll think of Cars.
Yeah.
Or and then I'll just try to riff on it. One of my favorite, I would never have said this when he was alive as much, but in his passing, Ralphie was one of my favorite comedians the way he wrote. Because he would take a premise and he would whittle it down every way. He'd give every tag. He wouldn't stop until he was out tagged.
Yeah.
And I was like, I remember he had a joke. I've talked about this before about women don't want big dicks. They want medium dicks. Ladies, you don't want some big dick leaving your pussy lips looking like a horse's lips reaching for a sugar cube. Just and then he had 9 different breakdowns of that.
Yeah.
And
when people go, the audience thinks you're done, and then you surprise them again. People, it's
the greatest. I had a conversation with my daughter, so then I'll just go. I'll write the premise. I think my daughters are making me more stupid, and then what I'll do is I'll shelve that in my head, and then I'll look through life for times that comes up.
That's a good idea.
A lot of me writing jokes is either mishearing something. I write a lot of jokes from mishearing people, misunderstand. That's my garage next door.
Oh, okay.
misunderstanding someone, mishearing someone, or thinking what someone said is one thing, and envisioning that as like, oh, what if that was this?
Yeah. I started filming my sets, and it's very disturbing, but it's so helpful because I realize I need to structure. And now when I write, I'll make, it's like a list of this category, and I'll start putting them in different folders. So,
well, do you write on stage, or do you write?
Yeah, a little bit.
I write a lot on stage.
Yeah.
But filming my sets doesn't work for helping me retain material technically.
Yeah.
I film my sets when I have my hour. I'll film just about every set, and then what I'll do is I'll take them and I'll cut out the chunks.
Yeah.
And then I'll work on chunk per chunk per chunk. So like in this set, like I'll tell you where my working is at right now. On this set, once I get a story up, it's like plate spinning.
Yeah.
And then I go, okay, that story's working. Time to go to the next story so that I can get a full hour of at least everything plate spins, right?
Yeah.
And then once I get all those stories, and this is what I'm doing starting in September, I will take that first chunk, right? And I'll go, oh, that can be a ton more punchy. Like I'm very lazy as a writer, and I'll just give you the first joke I come up with.
Yeah,
where I go, oh, I should go to the second joke.
Yeah.
And so I'm a really, really lazy writer.
It's hard to go back and sit down because we kind of do this because we didn't like doing that kind of work.
Yeah, I never understand guys who like are so disciplined.
I know. They're a rare breed though. I mean, you got like Dimitri Martin,
John Mulaney.
Yes.
Like guys but they liked homework though.
Great.
I think they
writing.
probably liked homework.
Yes, they did. They both did very well in school.
I think their brains were like, oh, I'm not comfortable unless I've written 19 pages of work and I know that I can put that down and go, now I can relax.
I got to add that.
Where I look at life and I go, well, if I'm not living my life, what am I writing about? Mm-hmm. So then I'll go, I gotta go play golf. I gotta go hit golf balls. I gotta go. Yeah. I'm gonna drink tonight. I'm gonna have people over and
that is important. I mean, getting back to Amy's writer's room, we were not there a lot. They sent us home, let us live our lives. I think they got better sketches out of that. And because most writers' room, they keep you there, and they think the longer you're there, the better the show will be. That's not like you got about 3 hours of comedy writing a day you can stomach. And
when you write like say, we'll just say Amy's show, because I think that's more sketch. It's in what your brain does. Did you come in with like 9 sketches you had? Did you?
The first year?
Yeah, the first year. Did you?
Yeah, I had a few, maybe like 5 that I had just in my computer. But it was an easy process. We go in Monday and you'd pitch 3 ideas, really basic pitch, like a 1-line pitch. And then go, okay, write that one up for Thursday. Then you'd go home and you'd just hand it in on Thursday. It was that. Really? And then we once it came down to the sketches, then we'd all get together and sort of punch it up. But it was
I think that's how I think I'd really operate well with a writer's room, because I think I could come up with my premise, but then to have writers go through and help me punch it up would be.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously that's not the art form of stand up.
Yeah.
I think it's a cheat code. I think it works for a TV show, but if you're doing straight stand up, you can't.
It would be so helpful though if like 3 or 4 comedians got together in a pack and they all just were like, we are gonna be the greatest. We're going to film, all of us. We're going to film and we're going to analyze. We're going to sit down and watch it. Imagine that, doing 5 sets a week and having a team and you're all just being honest and critical and making the sets better.
Kevin Hart.
Oh.
I think that's Kevin Hart. I think that's Chris Rock. I think I'm not, I mean, by the way, these are all guys.
If I was them, I would,
I think they have writers teams like that help them punch up stuff. I'm not certain. But
let's spread it around anyway.
I was always told Amy, this is what I was told, was that before she would get ready to do a special or tour, she'd fly all her friends to Hawaii and they'd have writing sessions. But
I think I do remember something like that.
I would love to do that.
Never did that. Yeah.
The problem is I get very territorial of what I say, and I want it to be my words.
Yeah.
Like only because I go stand-up's a little bit like this is a really bad example. Stand-up's a little bit like cage fighting or ice skating in that you're showing them your skill set.
Yes.
This is my skill set. This isn't my team's skill set.
But I would say this, like, you're
Yeah.
right. But for me, I have blind spots.
I have
don't even notice,
100
like,
blind
oh,
spots.
I'm saying like way too much. Even like that, someone just
Yeah.
to be like, hey, you're doing this too much or that, just to sort of guide.
Oh, I don't think there's wrong with someone. I don't think there's anything wrong with like a buddy giving you a tag and going like, what about this? And you're like, oh yeah. A lot of times I'll just walk away from them. There's only like 3 people I'll take tags from in this world.
Yeah.
But like,
Isn't it helpful to have someone go, hey, Bert, talk about this more. This is your lane. Because I can't, I sometimes can't see until the joke's done. I've been doing it for months. I go, oh, I shouldn't be talking about that. That was a waste of.
Shane Torres. Do you know Shane Torres?
No.
You'd love him. He's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
Shane Torres he's given me 1 or 2 tags since I've known him. But more importantly, like I'll get into a place to a joke or go, it's like that's not working. And he'll say stuff like, yeah, maybe you should write like a couple jokes in that story right there and put a joke in. Maybe that they'd like to hear a joke there. And you'd be like, oh yeah.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I'm not a great joke writer. I don't think
I can think of more now that I'm getting older. I can think of quick setup punches.
Yeah.
Now I can come up with them. But they're not set up punches. They're just like statements that I believe or have happened to me that are ridiculous. And then you go, all right, that works.
I'm trying to do it more because it's really important.
Oh, it's great when you have something quick.
Yeah.
Like something quick.
And if you're not doing well, you got another joke right there. And when you're stuck in a story and they're not feeling it, it's like, oh, I got another minute of this in your head. You're like, here we go.
Minute? I almost started a story last night that I do not believe in. But I believe
I did that.
The only premise of this story that's good, the only premise is good, is I believe the reveal. It's
What
like
is
that's
this?
this kid. I found this kid at a 4th of July parade. This kid comes walking towards me. I'm not telling you the story. I'm not trying to punch it up. I'm telling you the part I believe that's good.
Okay.
This kid's walking towards me and he's crying. Now, as a parent, I definitely am going to solve this situation. I'm not going to.
Yes.
I see people walking past and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Imagine if that's your kid.
Right.
So I stop him. I go, hey, buddy, are you okay? He's like, I lost my dad, which is an interesting thing for a kid to say. I lost my dad. I'm like, well, okay.
Yeah.
And he goes, I said, well, what's your dad's name? He says, I said, what's your name? He says, I said, okay. By the way, bleep both of their names because it's a real story. I said,
and he still can't find his dad.
and I said, well, what's your mom's name? He goes, I don't know. I go, how do you not know your mom's name? In my head, I'm like, his kid must be really traumatized, right? So I take the kid through the parade, screaming at the top of my lungs. I have looking for. Even the kid's getting a little. He's like, yeah, dial it back, bro. I don't care to see him that bad. Anyway, the short and long of the story, and there's a lot more in it.
Yeah.
Is the kid finds. It's a 4th of July parade. He finds a wagon full of kids his age that he knows that he goes to school with.
Okay.
And one of the dads goes, is he lost? And I'm like, no, asshole. I'm just
him.
screaming him through the. Yeah, what the fuck do you think he's lost? And he goes, oh, his dad's right over there. And I went, oh, okay. So I go over and I still yell, is there I've been looking for a Michael. Is there a And this guy goes, I go, do you have a son named? He goes, I do. I said, well, he's lost. He goes, no, he's not. I went, once again, I'm like, that's right. You got me. This has been an elaborate prank. I just wanted to see if I could get you to come with me. I'm like, no, he's definitely lost. He goes, no, he's not. He's over there. I go, I'm like so frustrated now. I go, he's lost. And by the way, he's so upset. He doesn't know his own mom's name. And he goes, he's never met his mom. And then I realized he's holding hands with a dude.
Oh my God.
And I'm like,
so
oh, he's got 2 dads. Oh, fuck. Like the whole, I'm sitting here going like, he's so traumatized. He doesn't even know the name of his mom. He's never met his mom.
That's funny.
Yeah. And so that's the part when we're talking about writing jokes. That's the part for me, that kid not knowing what his mom's name,
don't give up on this story. You just got to get back on the horse.
I got to figure it out. There. But it was so funny. And so then I kept telling it over and over to friends. And then I was like, it'll work. And last night I started it and I went, nope.
Oh, the stories are hard. I was at the store. This is last or 2 weeks ago, and it's a Saturday night. You don't want to try a new story, but I thought I gotta push myself a
I'll
little
feel
bit.
it. If it feels right, I'll slide it in.
I started and I realized I couldn't get out of it. I couldn't just stop it. So I thought maybe if I keep plowing, they'll get on my side. And it was the wrong story to tell.
What was the story?
It's so awful, and it only makes me look horrible. And people are going, "Ooh,
Wait,
making that
what's the
sound
story?
like you're
What's
a
the
dick."
story?
I was at a. Now I'm going to tell it, but I'll cut this down. I was at a movie theater with my friend. I sat in a seat. This girl came up. She's like, "You're in my seat." And I was like, "Oh, sorry." And she looked familiar. I sat in front of her. My seat was directly in front of her. The movie broke, which never happens. I couldn't find my phone. I turned around, talk to her for a second. I get my phone. Then I get a text from her, and I don't know it's her. I don't have my glasses. I just see her name, and then there's so much to the story, but I'm trying to cut it down. So I turn to my friend and I go, "This is an awful." I brought this up to tell you I don't want to ever tell this story again.
Wait,
It
keep
bombed. Not even bombed. It just people hated me.
So wait, let's slow it down. So you're in a movie theater. You
Yeah.
sit in the wrong seat. A girl comes in and goes, "Hey, you're sitting in my seat." You go, "Oh, sorry."
Yes.
So you move in front of her.
Which was my assigned seat.
Assigned
Happened to
seat.
be directly in front of her. There's no one else in this movie theater.
It's
That's why
you
I
and your friend and
sat
her and her
wherever.
friend behind you.
Her and
you
her
realize,
date seemed to be a date.
And so you realize your phone is missing, and you
I
turn around.
So now she's hearing me talk, seeing me again, and she recognizes me.
Yeah.
I still didn't recognize her, but thought she looked familiar. So I get a text from a girl from Chicago. This is my mind. Oh, there's a girl in Chicago that I had sex with years ago. So I turn to my friend and I say,
Oh, this is
It's
a great
horrible.
fucking story.
No,
this
it's
is a
not
great.
funny.
So wait. So I'm gonna hit pause. Can I tell you where I want it to go?
yeah.
Can I tell you where I want it to go?
Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do.
This is my favorite part of hearing stories because I know where I want it to go.
I would love to hear this.
So, can I tell your story to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, maybe this is probably this is a good writing session.
This is an awesome fucking story. I already love this story. What I love about a story is a Kaiser Soze moment. This is a Kaiser Soze moment.
I mean, you love the story, but I'm telling you, I told it to not only dead silence, but then groans. And I lost the crowd for my set was over because I thought I was a jerk. Go ahead. Sorry.
I go to the movies with my best friend. He calls me up. He's like, "Hey, we got to go see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood." Definitely. That's a bad movie. All right, hang on. I'll tell you why. It was what?
It was the movie Us.
It was the movie
which is
Us.
a horror movie.
Okay, this is great because, by the way, we're seeing it. It's about to be pulled out of theaters. There's no one in the movie theater.
Mm-hmm.
And I sit down. I'm waiting for my buddy to come back with popcorn. And this girl comes up and goes, "You're sitting in my seat." There's no one in the fucking movie theater.
350 seats.
350 seats.
I sat in
her seat. And I look and I go, "Oh, fuck. I'm in H. I'm sitting in G."
Right.
So I literally now move directly in front of her. Now I'm directly in front of the one person I sat in her seat. Her date shows up.
Wait,
at
you
the same,
tell this bit way better than me.
at
You
the
want this?
same time my friend shows up. Literally, my friend says, "Hey, you're in the wrong seat." And I have to explain, no, actually, this is H, that's G. And we all get a little bit of a laugh in it.
Yeah.
The movie's about to start, and I realize I don't have my phone. I left it in the seat. So now I have to once again make it all turn. I go,
Well, the movie broke.
hold on, I like it this way.
Oh, okay, sorry.
The movie starts, and I say, "Hey," before it starts, I go, "I'm sorry to do this. I think I might have left my phone in that seat." And she looks at me, smiles, hands me my phone. I'm like, "Is this fucking chick hitting on me? So how crazy is this?"
Yeah, I like
She's on a
this,
fucking
yeah.
date.
Okay.
And I'm like, what if this is meant to be? Anyway,
Uh-huh.
literally in the middle of the movie breaks. What are the fucking odds that a movie breaks? And
Never
once a movie breaks, I'm such a fucking tech junkie. I immediately look at my phone to see if I've got any texts. And I do. I got this random text from this chick I fucked in Chicago. In Chicago.
She lives in Chicago.
She lives in Chicago, and she texts me like, "Hey, what are you doing? I want to meet up." And
wait.
Okay, wait, hold
Go
on.
ahead.
And so I look at my friend and I go, "Oh my God." Now remember, the movie's broken. It is silent. I go, "I just got a text from this fucking pig I fucked in Chicago. How do I reply to this? And I turn to the group behind us. I go, "You ever get a text?" And as I say that, the girl goes, "It was me."
Oh, that's.
Wait, is that what happened?
I wish that happened.
Wait, tell me what happened.
I wish.
I love this.
I didn't have my glasses, so I just saw her name. I couldn't read the actual text, but I'm like, this girl lives in Chicago and she just texted me. So I turn to my friend and I say, Swear, this girl that I fucked in Chicago just texted me. Movie's broken. It's dead silent.
And girl, I just fucked in Chicago
years ago. Just texted me. Her asshole reeked.
Oh!
Wait, and then
this is awesome.
My friend, who's hard of hearing, said her asshole reeked. And then I go, yeah, can I borrow your glasses? Not, by the way, my glasses were in my pocket. All I did was take out my glasses. I didn't realize they were in my pocket.
This is such a great story.
And I put the glasses on. Let me read this text from this stinky asshole girl. And it says, I'm sitting right behind you. All the blood left my body.
Oh.
I turned around. I mean, can you imagine the feeling?
This is a fucking amazing story. This is an amazing story.
It's not. It doesn't work on stage.
It does work on stage.
I mean,
it does work on stage. It does. You know what? I'm sweating. That's such a great fucking story.
Well, I told it wrong because everyone was just like, "You're an asshole."
And wait, what happened?
So there's so much more to this too. And I mean, I'll try to buy. It's. So I turn around, have the most awkward, like, hey, and I mean, she's two feet away from me. When you send someone a text, you're watching their reaction. I mean, she was, I'm sure, staring at me to see if I would light up. So we have this awful interaction, and I wanted to leave right away, but I couldn't because that would look even worse. If there's a chance she didn't hear me, or it just would have made it worse if I left. So I sat there, and I felt like. So small, and she's looking at the back of my head. So for 2 hours, I'm watching this movie in complete uncomfortable awfulness. It was so awful.
That is awesome.
And then, so the next day, I get a text from her, and I'm like, is it possible she didn't hear me? There's no way. My friend yelling, but she's texting me like everything's normal. And then I get a random picture from her, which I'll show you now. Oh my God. I don't think she would listen to this, right?
No.
No, he says.
There's no fucking way.
I mean, there is a way. All right, we can edit. Sorry, this is taking a minute.
No. I want you to read this. This is one of my favorite stories I've ever heard.
I want you to read this. She sent me out of the blue. Okay, so just read this picture.
Oh my God. By the way, I don't have my glasses.
Out of the blue. Read the bottom of that bottle of juice. It's a picture of a bottle of juice.
I'm trying to get it bigger so I can see it. I can't. I don't have my glasses. Try to make it open it bigger.
I'm gonna save it. Why not save it?
That is fucking. I love a good story. All right.
She sent me a picture of juice. Read the bottom line.
Poop enforcer. Creation. Alkaline water balances pH. Constipation, digestion, energy. Recommended for bowel cleansing. Is that what she is taking?
What does that mean? Does that mean she heard me?
She heard you and she goes, just so you know, this was I was drinking that night. This is to blame. It's the fucking.
That I'll end there, but that isn't even the end of the story.
Really? Wait, what happened after that?
It gets weirder. So, all right. I'm telling this whole story. I'm sorry.
No, this is. Are you kidding me? When you go, it did bombed. I'm like, okay. And I thought it was going to be just like I sat in your seat. Her asshole stank.
I think it's just people were horrified for her, which I am too. And I feel
all you need is a pivot at the beginning to get you out of trouble. Like a simple pivot.
What's a pivot?
I believe in pivots where you plant. sometimes you can plant a little sapling at the beginning of a story that allows you to harvest it later. And when it comes to a pivot, you can plant a direction here so that when you get here and it gets uncomfortable, you're allowed to one word swivel it, and then they go, "Oh, I now feel for him." I'm trying to think of an example.
Oh, okay.
You know, like they feel for you in the moment.
Yeah.
Like all you need is a little pivot in the front of that.
Maybe like she was a bitch to me or something. She rejected me. Maybe
this girl. I got a text from this girl in Chicago. Oh my God. I was in love with her. She dumped me. That's like a pivot.
But then how does that square with the stinky asshole?
And then thank God she had a stinky asshole. And he's like, "What?" My friend started, "What?" I said she had a stinky asshole. That'd be great if she goes, "I'm sorry, what did you say?" I said you had a.
I said. So anyway, just to wrap this up, then she keeps texting me and she wants to watch Game of Thrones, with me.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. So she comes over and she wants pajama bottoms to be comfortable. And she just takes off her pants in front of me, full beaver, puts on these pajama pants I gave her. I'm like, oh, okay. And we've had sex before, but it was like 5 years earlier or something. It was years earlier. And so we're just lying down watching, and then we both fall asleep. And so I just didn't want to wake her up. I just went to my bed. And then she came in and was snuggled up into me. And so I was like, I guess we're hooking up. I'm still, though, in that mindset of, did this person hear me? And uncomfortable.
Yeah. So
I go to make out with her and she stops me and she goes, no. And I was like, oh, okay. So I'm like, this is weird. Like, she got in my bed. We've had sex before. Why?
In front of me?
Yeah. Why is she getting in my bed? So sat there for a second. I was like, oh, I'm just curious. Are you not attracted to me anymore or something? And or I was like, do you have a boyfriend or something? I was trying to find out.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, just my body says no. And I was like, okay. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, this is just weird. And suddenly I was like, I swear to God, I won't be offended. I'm just curious. Are you just not attracted to me anymore? And she's like, no, my just body says no. And I was like, okay. So we go to sleep. And the next day, she's not leaving. It's like 1 p.m. And I finally had to pretend I was going somewhere. It was just so weird. And then she continued to text me pictures of food and stuff.
That's it?
That's the whole story.
But what? I'm confused. Why would she stay at your house? And
I don't know. It might have been revenge or something. Maybe it was like, I don't know.
That's so interesting. I don't know if I could be single. That makes me so uncomfortable.
I'm uncomfortable most of the time.
The idea that you would go into your bed and then she would get in bed with you and you're like, and then you'd wake up and you'd be like, so what do you got planned today? And she's like, nothing.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
And then you'd have to be like, well, I've got jujitsu class.
Yeah.
And
that's
she's
what
like,
happened.
what time will you be back? And you're like, huh?
Yeah, what is this?
It's so weird that, like, I'd said to someone the other day, I don't know where we were talking about. We were like, they should have an app to make friends. Like, they have an app to fuck people, but they don't have an app to make friends.
Oh, that's interesting.
Like, why wouldn't they have, like...
Oh, why does that seem so sad?
I know, right?
Sadder than a dating
It's sadder
app.
than fucking people.
Yeah.
Technically, but theoretically, it's not.
Well, it's sadder because it's all about being lonely. Whereas the dating app is also like, I'm trying to get laid, is in there.
But it's like I'm not lonely.
Yeah, I'm just trying
to fuck.
Yeah, but a friend app is I'm very lonely and I can't talk to people.
I remember one time I was on Craigslist and I saw an ad saying, looking for someone to play ping pong with.
I would respond to that. I like ping pong. You can't play alone.
Well, you can just put the one side of the table up.
Oh, that's not fun.
But I was like, so sad. He should just be like, I'm looking to fuck. And people will be like,
you like ping pong?
You like ping pong also?
Yeah. You should bury the lead on that.
The lead. I'm looking to fuck.
I've had
and play ping pong afterwards.
You ever do dating apps?
No, I was married before they existed.
I've had the worst. I went out with this girl. I picked her up and she literally, and there's nothing wrong with being overweight, but her pictures look totally different. I mean, She was twice the size. It wasn't the she was 2 of the picture that she had on her profile. So I'm like, all right, well, whatever.
Immediately I want to go, how did you get those pictures?
Like, don't you feel nervous showing up?
Yeah.
You just put the picture that look like you. Anyway, gets in my car and she immediately breaks into a flop sweat. Like someone dumped a bucket of water on her head. And we're driving and she tells me she's on the ISIS hit list. And I was like, why is that? And she's like, the FBI told me. I don't know. I'm like, well, I'm sure you're fine. And then she started getting nauseous and we just had to pull over every 5 minutes to have her drool out of my car. And she took her shoes off really quick and started rubbing her feet. Like within 30 seconds of getting in my car.
Really?
Her bare feet are like, and this is, anyway, it's going great. Things are going well.
You should have a fucking TV show just of, like, it's all done like remember that one show? It was like, was it First Date? Where it was like hidden camera. It wasn't hidden camera. They just go along with you.
Yeah.
You should have a show like that.
I tend to have very weird dates.
You don't like confrontation though, do you?
No.
I hate confrontation.
I won't do it.
So that's why I used to be really bad at dating, because if a woman was a little bit domineering or weird, I would just let it go.
Yeah.
And be like, okay, I'm just going to talk shit behind your back to my friends.
Right.
And I'm not going to be, whereas other of my friends would be like, this date's fucking over. I don't date fucking lunatics.
Yeah, that's good boundaries, but it does feel mean.
I wish I had boundaries.
I don't.
You don't?
I have no boundaries.
Oh, I have no fucking boundaries.
I get run over by, I'm working on it.
For real?
Yeah. I just grew up sort of,
Only child?
No, but I was, I had great parents, but like I was the last one.
How many?
And not just 3.
Okay.
But I just, for whatever reason, I got the message of not thinking for myself. So I didn't even go, I love music, but I didn't even think to buy myself music till I got to college and I saw other people do that. Like I went through just one of those things.
Where you're like, music is whatever we got floating around.
I just would go through the radio. I never thought for myself, this is what I wanted. Even doing stand-up, I did what people kind of told me to do.
So why do you think? Because I called my dad. I called my dad on this Sunday on a par 4. I was 130 out, and I called my dad and said, "Hey, what do I hit my pitching wedge?" I actually know the answer is 125. I know the answer is 125.
So why'd you call him?
I have no fucking idea.
That's nice though.
You know what I've just stopped doing recently is calling people for advice about things I already know I'm not going to listen to them.
Now, I'm trying to think of why you would do that. Maybe you wanted to just hear it so you could solidify your opinion, feel more secure in your...
I don't know. I think it's a little bit of a desperateness to connect with people.
Okay.
So this would be a perfect example. So say like we get done here and then we talk about Instagram a little bit, and then I got a good post. This is a bad example because I probably wouldn't do this, but like I would text you, "Hey Kyle, what time do you post your Instagrams? Do you notice that?"
Yeah.
By the way, it doesn't matter because whatever you say, I'm still going to post them whenever the fuck I shoot them. But like I do that. Like, we're looking at dogs, and I have a friend who's got a dog like that, a famous friend who's got a dog like that, and I wanted to text them and go, he's got a different type of dog, and he's got a Cane Corso, and I wanted to text him and go, "Hey man, is your Cane Corso good with kids?" I know his answer is going to be yes.
I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it helps keep connections with people because I drop off a lot of friendships that I just don't keep up little texts. I think you should.
I am that 100 fucking %. Dude, I don't reply to texts at all. Like people will text me and say like, "Hey, I'll tell you." I'm guaranteed.
I get so hurt when people don't reply to my text. So you better not do that to me.
Okay, this is a perfect example. I can say legit these are friends, but I won't reply to these texts. Jeff Dye, Sam Tripoli, and Chad Zumach have all texted me within the last 15 minutes. I won't reply to any of them.
Why?
I don't know. It's something that makes me uncomfortable. It makes me very uncomfortable to like Jeff Dye wrote, this is a perfect example. Jeff Dye wrote, "Absolute killer set last night." Now, what do you say to that?
Thanks, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like that's like I automatically go, that makes me sound like accepting a compliment like that. If it makes me feel uncomfortable. So
Interesting. Well, no, I don't think. I think you should drop that because.
What if I wrote back, who, you or me?
Oh yeah, you can make a joke. That's funny.
No, but then I go, what if he doesn't get it? And then he's like, did you watch my set? And then I'll be like, no.
Starting back and forth.
I immediately second guess what I write with people. And I have a hard, dude, I let relationships fall by the wayside consistently because I think, number one, they don't really want to be my friend.
We're all tortured.
Yeah, like I go, they don't really want to be my friend. Like what? Like Brian Callen texted me the other day, something very sweet. And I just didn't, I was like, all right, I don't know what to say.
See, I have a different fear, which is I fear they're going to like get their feelings hurt if I don't write back. That's what I fear.
I feel like I'm going to write what I find funny and they're going to go, I don't get it. Are you trying to be a dick? And I'll be like, I was just joking. I think that is based off of, I did have a friend who you'd write back jokes to and they'd fucking lose their shit.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, I couldn't read them. I could never read them.
It's hard to, texting is very dicey.
I had a friend, I got given cocaine one night at a club after a show at the DC Improv. And I texted it to a group of friends, like a picture of coke in my hand.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've officially made it as a comic. Someone just gave me coke. Right.
Yeah.
I just thought, all my friends know I don't do coke.
Yeah.
And I called the guy like 2 days later. I was like, what's up, man? He's like, I don't know how to even speak to you. And I was like, huh? He's like, I'm sorry, you calling me after you do coke for a weekend? And like lost his shit. I was like, dude, I didn't do coke. I thought you knew me. Dude, can I tell you, Barry Katz one time, I used to be rep by Barry Katz.
Yeah.
This is a perfect example. It's like, I think that if you try to be funny to people often enough and they don't get your jokes, you kind of start going introverted. Yes.
Yeah.
Like I said to Barry Katz, used to work for New Wave Entertainment.
Yeah.
It was a big company. It's a big fucking company. Maybe like, I'm going to ballpark it at like 200 employees.
Yeah.
And I called one night, New Wave, thinking I could get into Barry's voicemail and leave him a voicemail.
Yeah.
Like thinking I could, because he was out of the country or whatever. And it went to their general mailbox. Now, I'm a grown-up. I know that a general mailbox is going to be heard by the receptionist.
Yeah.
Hi, this is a general mailbox for New Wave. If you don't know the party extension, leave a message here. And so I did a joke where I was like, Barry, pick up. I know you're sitting there. Pick up.
Yeah.
Barry, pick up. It's Bert. I'm wasted. The cops want to know if I have a friend that can bail me out. Barry, pick up. As a joke, I'm a comedian.
Yeah.
And then he was like, Papa, I don't even know what to tell you. You called drunk on them with the cops trying to arrest you. And I'm like, Barry, that was a joke. And it just was this place where I stopped. I was like, you know what? It's better to be safe than sorry and not try to be funny to comics sometimes.
That. With text, you got to be so clear.
And I'm not.
Yeah, I forget sometimes too.
I was never a Twitter guy.
Yeah, me either.
Like, I'm sure Rob Delaney could fucking hit home runs with texts.
Yeah.
I mean, his texts are brilliant. But unless I'm in person.
Maybe you just need a checker, someone to check. Like, hey, a tastemaker. Say, does this seem, when you're nervous about your texts,
just send them to someone.
Yeah, or like tell your wife, like, how would you take this? This is when it's something especially written, it seems more serious. You have to.
Yeah, it does.
It can seem very serious, especially when the person's nervous, like being in a relationship. I've had to apologize so many times in the beginning. Like, no, that was a joke.
Like what? Like
you're
what?
a fat pig. I never wrote that, but yeah, you got to be careful. But I don't think you should worry about taking a compliment because they're complimenting. It's just you saying thank you for the compliment. It doesn't make you.
I just assume, you know what I do, Kyle? The second I start doubting myself, I just hands off. I don't reply.
Flip. Why don't I respond to your
Here,
people?
You take mine, and I'll take yours, and you reply to all my texts.
Just throw that stinky asshole text.
Freeze podcast.
Can we cut that whole story out? Thanks. Oh my god.
Are you good at sex?
Yeah. Really good. I know what I'm doing.
For real?
Well, I know what to do. I just don't do it.
Wait,
But
what
I
do you
know
mean?
what to do. If I ever needed to step up to the plate and do a good job, I think I would.
Are you good?
I
at
just
the,
never have.
Are you good at the first time having sex with someone?
Yes.
For real?
And then I got to break the news. Like that was a one-time.
That was a
deal.
fluke.
Yeah.
I've only had sex with one person once in my life. For that, the first time I was spectacular.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it was.
The effort. You cared.
I don't know. I don't. Not even really. But I was so good.
What was good? I mean,
I just lasted for a long time, and I was hitting rhythms, and I was like,
it's all about any kids listening. You gotta make sure the woman's taken care of first. That's
Yeah.
the key to it.
yeah.
Then she tells all her friends you're good in bed,
And then it gets spread around.
and then all her friends have sex with you. Just
And then you're like In-N-Out Burger. Everyone's coming by.
yeah, there's a line.
You need a positive Yelp review.
Yeah.
What if they
That's
came
the-
out with a Yelp review of sex with people?
Ooh, that'd be good to add to like a Tinder app.
Oh, it would be
4.5 stars. You know, that'd be good.
Ooh, that would be good if people had sex with you. They gave you stars.
Yeah.
But then I guess you'd be looking for people with not a lot of stars.
I would.
Who would you be looking for? Would you have sex with a woman with 1,400
Yeah,
five-star
you don't
reviews?
even want them to have
or would
5
you
stars.
want one-star review?
You want a 4 because 5 she's doing too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, solid 4 would be good. But getting back to how good I am at sex,
By the way, I just want this to be the promo.
yeah, it's really dynamite. I think.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I honestly, it does ebb and flow. I'm sure there's a, a wide range of, because sometimes there isn't chemistry there. I was with a girl once and I decided to be honest, which was the dumbest thing. I told a girl, I started laughing when we were making out. I thought she felt that, and I'm sure she did, that we just didn't have chemistry.
Yeah.
But I think I just was nervous. I didn't
Do you
think it was
kiss?
that wrong.
Do you kiss every girl the same way?
No.
Really?
Similar, but you go off like the lips,
You let them lead?
back and forth. It's a boxing match. I feel like listeners are learning a lot.
By the way,
know what
I've
to
only
do.
I probably only made out with not even a ton of chicks.
You,
Maybe
how many?
20.
Okay, all right.
I've only had sex with 6.
Okay,
Maybe
Well, you got
7,
married,
maybe 7. Yeah, but no, but I got married at fucking 30. I mean, I should have had sex with more. I just was so bad at it that it was like, I go, this is the only stuff I do. I
How
only
do you
do
know
this.
you're bad at it?
I was fucking bad at it.
You're talking like you ended quickly?
Always.
Okay.
Always.
Okay, that's
I
bad.
mean, yeah. And
That's
I
bad.
mean, so quick that I was like, I have to trust this person.
To not tell anyone.
Yeah, to go like, oh, that was like astounding.
Right.
I had one instance with a girl that I had sex with that was a waitress at one of the comedy clubs,
Yeah.
and she yelled at me.
That's weird.
She yelled at me and started breaking stuff in my room.
Well, she's a psychopath.
That's what I said. And I was like, and by the way, I was like, in my head, I was like, we had sex. I had an orgasm. I was like, give me a second. We'll go back at it again.
Yeah.
And she was like, are you fucking serious? And I was like, hey, hold on. Let's not do that. Like, that's definitely going to not put me in. She's like, you better fuck that. That's bullshit. That's fucking bullshit. We better be doing this again. And I was like, okay, hold on. You don't talk to me like that. We're in my house. Fucking calm down. And then she would like kick something on my nightstand. I was like, all right, now you got to leave. You got to get the fuck out. Like, I
Yeah.
can't. We're not dating. You're not my girlfriend. No one talks to me like that, let alone
Kicks
are you
my
going
stuff.
to kicks my stuff. I was like, now you're getting on a train. You're going to fucking Brooklyn. Good luck.
Oh,
and
man.
she was like, she was a fucking, by the way, she was a really great person. I really liked her a lot as a person until that one fucking moment.
Isn't it funny when you go, oh, this is another side of this person, and you find out a month or two in, you go, oh, this is a whole new.
Have you ever
area.
had someone raise their voice at you that you felt like, I would have never raised my voice at you,
all the
and
time?
now I hate you forever?
Yes, all the time. Well, yeah, I've had to check in because I used to not be able to gauge when I was hurt or when someone's doing something bad to me because I had numbed out was my thing. Non-confrontation, you numb out quick
Yeah.
to not have that. And now I tried. I went to a therapist once with this girl I was dating, and therapist kept going, does that bother you? She just said that, and I'd be like, oh, I was like, yeah. Now that I think about it, but anyway, I had some point. What was my point?
No, but wait, I do that. I do a really shitty thing. I wish I didn't do this. I feel like I'm a really good person. And if someone raises their voice to me and yells at me or acts aggressive with me in a way that makes me uncomfortable, I shut down with that person. I no longer trust them for the rest of my life. I will never forgive them. And I probably talk shit behind their back. Yeah.
Because that's once they show you that, it's coming back. It's not like they're doing that one time.
You've now set up a line of behavior. You believe it's okay to treat people like that. Yeah, and I will not.
You have boundaries.
I don't have boundaries, so I won't let that person know. I'll let them go, hey man, I'm sorry about that, and I go, hey, it's not a problem. And then what I do is I trash them behind their back for the rest of their life.
Yeah, I like that. I do that.
I wish I could not do that. Can I tell you what I wish I did? I wish I was like, hey man, I apologize. We're no longer friends.
Yeah.
That's how this works now. I appreciate that you're upset. I wish I was the person that could give you a second chance, but I've been beat up by people like you so much in my life. You're dead to me.
Very rarely do people change. Very rare.
So rare.
You're best off just making complete assumptions.
I agree 100%.
When have you been wrong? I've stayed in relationships too long where I thought it could change. We don't live long enough, getting back to that.
Yeah.
We need to live 500 years. The first 100 years, you deal with the shit from your childhood, and then you're alone for 100 years. Then you start dating at 300. Then you start dating. Then at 400, you get in serious relationships, and then you get married at 500 years old. That's healthy.
That would be.
When you were younger, weren't you like, adults are adults? Now you're like, they're kids with gray hair.
Yeah.
No one really
I'm always
changes.
shocked at how many people have gray hair. I'm like, everyone has gray hair that I know. Everyone, I don't know anyone that doesn't have gray hair.
Yeah.
It's so fucking crazy.
I know.
I thought 40. I said to my dad the other day, I go, so wait, how old were you when I was starting stand-up? And he goes, well, when you were starting stand-up, I was a little bit younger than you. And I was like, what?
I know, I have these thoughts every day. Something like that pops into my head. I'm like, oh, this is the year that I found out my dad was 48. And I was like, oh my God, he's going to die soon.
Yeah.
He's 48.
I go, so wait, how old were you when you ran a marathon? He's like, 28. And I was like, hold on.
Yeah.
I was like 7? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, I look back and I go, and I feel like, I don't feel like I'm 46.
No, that's the thing. When you're younger, every year you're different. Then when you hit 27, maybe you just go flatline.
Yeah.
And you just start
especially guys like me and you. I never grew up.
Yeah.
Like I don't like my sense of humor's identical.
Yes.
I still laugh at the same fucking shit.
Yeah.
And I never really like.
No.
Like I hang out with friends that are lawyers and stuff, and they're like, hey, when you tell like a off-color joke, right, easy, okay, all right, enough of that.
Yeah,
and then and then you're like,
I don't get that.
You're like, hey, you don't find that funny?
These are guys that used to find it funny?
No. I mean, some of them are just people that I know now that are grown-ups.
Yeah.
And you meet a grown-up and then you say something really off-color.
Do you think we'll live longer than them? We'll be right back.
I will not.
You're staying young?
I don't think so. I think I'm partying pretty hard.
Yeah?
So yeah.
That doesn't matter.
I have a cardiologist appointment tomorrow. We'll find out.
You hear guys like that partied their whole life, and I mean, Elton John's still around.
I look at, I've Pat Summerall. Fucking, I look
genetics.
I go, you don't.
How are your grandparents still alive?
Dead before me.
Okay, all right.
They died.
Mine are all dead too.
They died of strokes.
We're wrapping it up.
Yeah, we gotta fucking get out of here, dude. I feel like I look at my whole family of adults, males that like didn't have cardiologists, were all fucking dead before 45.
Well, you're smart. Can they? Because as I said, I always think I'm dying. Can they see your valves? I feel like there's
got a CT scan.
They should do that every year
They only need to do it every 5 years. Technically, you can't have that much more blockage built up within 5 years. So I have a CT scan. You do have a cardiologist?
No.
Do you have a doctor?
Can I go to your guy?
100%. I set up Bill Burr with my guy.
Yeah, I want to go to your guy.
I'll give you his number and I'll tell him tomorrow. I'll see him tomorrow. I'll say, just he's coming in, and I'll have you get the treatment my dad got me. My dad got me the full fucking check all your veins, check your heart, find out if you're at risk for a stroke, risk for a heart attack.
Yeah.
And then obviously stress test, but that I don't like it. Every time I go to the cardiologist, I think of the same thing. There's this older black woman, and I walked in to get my CT scan. I did not want to do it.
Wait a minute. CT scan's all that radiation, though.
CT's it's a CAT scan. It's like they check all your valves to see if you have any blockage, all your arteries, see if you have any blockage. And I said to this older black woman, I love older black women can calm the fuck out of you at times in life. And she said, honey, you don't look right. And I said, I don't want to be here. She said, it's better. She goes, sugar, I'm adding that. Sugar, it's better that you walk through those doors than we wheel you through those doors. I went, what? She goes, every day they're wheeling someone through those doors to find out where they got to find the hole, where they got to find the blockage, where they got to open it up. It's better that, since the fact that you walk through those doors means they'll never wheel you through those doors. And I went, oh, wow. So as much as I don't want to go to the cardiologist tomorrow,
Smart.
because I'm terrified he's going to say I'm dying, at least if he says I'm dying, I'm in front of dying.
Yeah.
That's the way I got to look at it.
Yeah, people our age drop. And they go, oh, I just dropped dead, that guy.
Dude, I
Not to scare you.
think about that all the time. I think about that constantly. But you don't like do drugs or alcohol. Like you're not like fucking.
I do marijuana.
That's not really a drug. I think that would be do it. Do you have high blood pressure? Have you ever checked your blood pressure?
My blood pressure's good.
Yeah, then you're fine. If you have do you have a history of heart problems in your family?
No, but you never know how your plaque buildup goes.
How do people die in your family?
Skydiving mostly. Brain tumor, cancer.
So that you'll die of cancer.
Cool.
That's pretty much how that works. They go. So how does everyone die in your family? And
My grandfather had a pacemaker.
Really?
Yeah.
And that guy just went everywhere with him to make sure he didn't go too fast?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what they said to me when I went to the doctor. They were like, how many people in your family have cancer? I said, no one. And
God, you're lucky.
They go, how many people in your family have died of heart attacks? And I was like, no one. And they're like, oh, good. I go, it's all strokes. And they're like, oh, okay. So they're like, so that's how you'll die. You're going to have a stroke.
Jesus.
So let's get in front of that. Go to a cardiologist, make sure that you're on blood pressure medicine and that you have clear blockage and we can open everything.
There's a good stroke you can have that kills like the...
No, this
yes,
isn't
there is.
real.
No, this is real. You can Google this. You can Google this. Don't believe it. But it kills like part of your left brain and you just get fucking happy.
Wait, is this like John Travolta in that movie where he just became a genius all of a sudden?
That was a brain tumor. Phenomenon,
yeah.
Yeah. No, they did it. This lady actually who was studied the brain was having the stroke, and she got very interested that this was going on, and she realized she was getting happier because she wasn't bombarded with these stress thoughts that we're all bombarded with.
Dude, give me that fucking stroke.
Yeah.
I
mean, she couldn't dial the phone.
She couldn't dial the phone. She got
She couldn't see numbers or talk, but she was happy.
She couldn't see numbers.
She was like,
or
whatever.
Talk. I'll give you my number, my cardiologist.
Yeah.
I'll talk to him tomorrow.
Oh, this, what this does? This sets up some kind of a butterfly effect. Because let's say I don't go and then I drop dead of a heart attack, and then you're in this podcast. I told him to go to my guy, or I do go and they find something and it saves my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Can I tell you what my butterfly effect is?
Yeah.
Yesterday, I walked to Starbucks over by my house, and I was coming back with 2 coffees, and I went to walk straight so that I would take a left into the parking lot, and I passed the stairs, and then I stopped, and I walked back 2 steps. I said, I'll just go up the stairs. And all day I was like, if I die today, it's because I chose those stairs.
Yeah.
Had I gone straight into the parking lot, I'd be alive.
Yeah.
And then I didn't die, and I was like, I saved my life by walking up the stairs.
Yeah, in the parking
I look
lot.
at that. We're looking at new houses. I've said that a couple times now, and I keep thinking, I keep going into every house going, will someone come in and murder me in this house?
Yeah, is this a good murder house?
It's just a murder house. Like some of these are murder houses, and I don't want it.
I'll tell you, I use that to my advantage. Like if I don't get something I wanted, I think, and I aggressively do this. Like if I got that, I would have bought this race car and I would have died. And I luckily, no.
I did that with cars. I did that with we were supposed to buy this this car Tom had set up for me, and I was like, I got it. And then the last minute I got there, and the guy goes, oh yeah, I'm not selling it to you. He didn't want to sell it to me. It's really a dick move. And then all I thought, smiling, was, I won't be dying in that car.
You should have said that out loud because he was being a dick. Be like, I'm having this premonition. Someone's going to die in this car anyway. Thank you. And then he would, if he didn't believe you, he'd think about that. Every time he drove, that guy had a premonition.
I didn't know how similar we were.
Yeah. We're the exact same.
Yeah. How is that possible? How did I become a meathead and you got sensitive?
Who says I'm not a meathead?
You're not a meathead at all. You're not a meathead at all.
I'm a real meathead. Yeah, I am. I am sensitive about weird thing about, and then some things I'm not. That's right.
I am overly sensitive.
It's all luck. How we came. It's all how people treat us in our chemistry. Make our.
Would you change
mental? No, I know.
You're cool with the way you are.
Yeah, I mean. If I could snap my fingers, I would change certain things. Mainly, I wouldn't stress or worried about anything.
I've gotten less stressy. Health I worry about, but I've gotten less stressy the older I've gotten.
That's good. Yeah, a little bit. You know what I have on my door when I leave, and I just put this up? This is corny, but maybe it'll help some people. No matter what happens, I'll be okay.
Yeah.
So because whenever you're stressed, you just don't think you're going to be okay, and it's usually wasted stress.
My mom used to tell me, honey, they can kill you, but they can't eat you.
It still seems bad.
It seems pretty bad. They can kill
you.
My mom would give me fucking horrible sayings that, well, it all comes out in the wash. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes things are stained.
Oh, yeah. I would say it all happens for a reason. Always made me go, that's not true.
Yeah. Tell that to the girl that lost her arm.
Yeah.
One of my favorite jokes. David Tell said that the young lady, Bethany Hamilton, got attacked by a shark.
Yeah. Oh, wait. I think I know this. Go ahead.
Wait, you tell the joke then.
I don't know it. I think I've heard this, though. I'll let you know.
She goes, everything happens for a reason. He goes, really? Was that your evil arm?
Oh, I didn't hear that one.
Was that your arm for sucking black cocks and doing shots at Jameson? While the other arm's like, 2 for Passions of the Christ, please.
Oh, it wasn't that joke. It was some other.
Who's your favorite comedian?
It switches around. I mean, Bill Burr is amazing, and I like Brian Regan a lot.
Oh,
a lot of comedians like Brian Regan.
I love Brian Regan.
John Mulaney. I mean, I'm not no shockers.
So tell me that before we leave, give me the secrets that you of your.
I'm not leaving. My secrets to what?
You're gonna do what that girl did, like 1:30. You're like,
yeah.
So what do you got planned for today?
I have Taekwondo.
I've had people. I had an MMA fighter, which, by the way, MMA fighters are the most direct, honest. They tell you how they feel. Usually, they tell you how they feel, and I don't know if it's the makeup of all of them, but I will tell you it's the ones I've run into. They don't really cut corners with feelings.
I could see that. That's interesting.
I had this guy Frank Mir come over, and we had a cigar during the we get done the podcast, and he said, "Oh, you have cigars?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "I'd love to smoke one with you." I said, "Well, we should do that." And he goes, "Well, what are you doing later today?" I said, "Well, nothing." And he goes, "Okay, well, I'll be back." And I was like, "All right." And just in my the way my non-confrontational brain is, I was like, yeah, we'll do it later. Maybe one day later.
Right.
And so then like he went and did another interview and he came back to my house. He's like, "You ready for that cigar?" And I was like, wow, I've never been around a guy that says what he's going to do.
And
like in Hollywood, it's so different.
Yeah, I know.
And I was like, oh, fuck. And by the way, I'm a huge fan of Frank Mears and he's a really fascinating guy. So we went out the back and smoked a cigar. And he was like, "All right, cool, man. I'll see you later." It was like, shut the fuck up. Tate Fletcher's like that. Tate Fletcher will text you. And if you don't text back, he'll be like, "Hey, how come you didn't text me back?"
Yeah, why is that rare? It's very rare.
It's so rare. My buddy Eddie is like that in Florida. He'll call you, and then if you don't call him back, he'll be like, "Hey, man, first of all, I know you have time to call me back, and I know you have your phone in your hand."
I wish I was like that. That sounds like a good way to live.
Like that.
This guy was going rock climbing or boulder climbing, and I wanted to go, and we went, and I showed up, and he just was shocked that I showed up.
Really?
Yeah. It's we blow each other up so much. When you don't blow someone up, they're like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" I don't know. We had a plan.
I've had people say to me, "I can't believe you're here."
I don't like ghosting. I'll never.
I don't ghost people.
Ugh.
But man, like, if someone's like, "Hey, we should work out sometime," I don't write back. Tomorrow, 2 p.m.
Yeah.
Like I go, that sounds like a great idea.
Yeah.
And I put the ball in their court. Like, maybe we should do that one day.
Yeah, there's like a soft way to say I'm never gonna do that with you. But
it's not even that I'll say I'm never gonna do that with you. I just go, my interpretation is you're just being nice. You don't really want to do that with me. And I appreciate that you're being nice.
Right. It's like saying I almost want to hang out with you. And you're like, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, or someone going, "Hey Bert, I think you'd be fun to hang out with. It's not the kind of person I am, but I'm gonna put out this invitation so you know that I think you would be fun to hang out with." And then I go, "Oh, thank you." Rogan's a perfect example. He goes, I'll say stuff and he'll go like, "Why don't you just come over to the podcast studio and work out with me?"
Yeah.
And I go, "Yeah, sure." And I will never take him up on it because I go, he doesn't really want me showing up going like, "Hey, I'm ready to work out." And then he'll be like, I do a little more intense of a workout than you do.
Maybe you say something like, "Let me know when you want to work out," and then you'll know when he says, "Hey, you want to work out today?" He wants to do that because he won't text you if he doesn't want to do that. Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well,
I've taken up too much of your time.
No. Tell me real quick. Everyone wants to know the secret of Instagram.
Have Tom Segura like your stuff and have him tell Joe Rogan and Bill Burr.
Joe, there's very few people, Joe, I take that back. Joe laughs at a lot of things. Joe's very broad sense of humor, but man, there's very few people that make him piss his pants laughing.
He's plugged me so much. I mean, I could never repay. It would probably cost $3 million to buy the ads that he's given me for free on his show.
No, he legit, like me, him, and Tom and Ari are in a text thread, and there was a period where Tom was texting us all separately, and then texting the group, and then Joe as soon as Joe saw one of yours, he was like, "Oh my god!" Like it was like he was like fanboying. He was like, "Well, have you seen this one? This one's fucking hilarious."
Yeah.
The second you'd post one, he'd repost it to us like, "Dude, Kyle's at it again."
Yeah, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I thank you for having me.
Dude,
I love
think
your podcast, Man Cave.
Yep, my man cave. See, that's the bro I am. It's
You're such
legit
a
a
bro.
man cave.
Yeah.
It's like I have man cave fucking posters everywhere.
Yeah, I see it. It's great.
I'm hoping to ride that into the millennia.
I'm gonna come back for a cigar later. Cool.
Wait. How about this? We should do something together.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you want to do?
We'll hang out.
What do you want? Let's do something.
Yeah.
Want to go on a bike ride on the beach?
Let's go on a bike ride on the beach. Let's do that.
All right.
Wednesday?
Next Wednesday?
No, today. Yeah, next Wednesday. All right, next Wednesday we'll go for a bike ride.
Okay.
We should really do it. Oh, wouldn't that just be so hard?
Already?
Show up with our bikes and our hey.
You guys literally can show up to your house. You'd be like, "Hey, if you want, you can just suck my dick and go." I'd be like, "I'd much rather do that. I'd much rather do that."
Yeah, are we driving to Santa Monica together?
Okay. I have a bike rack.
Oh God, we'll never do this. Let's do it and videotape it and make a documentary. We can make money off it.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sweating already. I'm sweating at the concept of us going on a bike ride.
Really quiet in the car.
Do you know how quickly I'd want to get drunk?
It would be so quiet in the car probably for a while.
Dead silent.
And then we're just two men bike ride. Anyway. But look, I'm a fan of yours. You're always fun to hang out with.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how to get there, but I would like to be
make me
friends.
giggle a lot.
But I don't know how to get there.
Too, so
I don't know how to get there.
I think it starts
That's
with
the
the bike ride. I'll have my cousin Andrew shoot it on camera.
Yeah.
And we'll just have it be very normal.
Just play it straight.
My problem with that is I wouldn't know what to say in the car.
It's the car. Maybe we'll meet there.
Should we just meet there and go on a
Well,
bike ride?
we need a group. You know? We'll double date.
You know, it would make us so much more comfortable if we had one person we could focus our energy on.
That we're shitting on. Someone that we're
like
behind their
who?
back.
Who
could we shit on?
Could never get Cigar to go on a bike ride.
No.
He'd be like, no.
Oh, see, he's got
Tom
boundaries.
Tom doesn't want to hang out with people.
Yeah.
He wants to be by himself. I like to hang out with people. I'm just afraid that they don't mean it.
I want people to come over. my house.
Okay.
I think that's why I built that ADU, the rental. I just want someone around.
Girl or guy?
I think I would rather. I feel like girls don't mess up things as much as that's
I
a
would never
sexist
want a
thing to
guy.
say, but just a guy and is drunk and then breaks shit. I just feel like that's
Kyle!
more likely.
I need someone to play ping pong
Can't get
with.
the TV to. Oh, that'd be fun. Anyway, all right. Listen,
I'll see you
thank you.
Wednesday.
We'll see you next Wednesday. I gotta buy a bike. Shit.
That was fucking great.